Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Sasso with myself and Tim Roberts. If you remember, we're walking up a ridge towards Monte Grapa in search of a very rare little edelweiss, surrounded by the most majestic views.
Quite a sight that, isn't it?
Incredible landscape. You can imagine this would have just been full of glacier. The whole valley would have just been glacier. I imagine the bottom would have been a lake when the glacier retreated. I imagine this is just where the glaciers scoured it, because it's just like an aggregate, a gravel almost. Because you can see it down the valley where it's just eroded off. Absolutely. I've just not seen anything like that before.
Quite dramatic.
Yeah.
Vista. And that valley down there. I'll get out the way so that the lovely people can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Campo Imperatori. The Emperor's Camp.
Now Tim and I between us have walked up a lot of mountains, we've seen a lot of gentian, and we both agreed these were some of the best we've ever seen. The only problem is identifying them. Now this Acaulis group, and the Werner group for that matter, are quite tricky. We threw a few names around Acaulis itself, Ligustica, Clusii, Cocciana. But there's this really good annotated checklist I found online by Fabio Conti and Fabrizio Bartolucci called The Vascular Flora of the National Park of Abruzzo, Lazio and Molise. It's a very good list, very helpful. I'll try and put the link up somewhere. And bearing in mind that these guys are professional botanists, so they know what they're talking about, they only list one species, and that is Gentiana dinarica. So let's stick with that. Anyway, here's just a few of them. Absolutely wonderful. We even found a white form. Also up there, I'd been to Greece a few weeks before, and we'd found this orchid, Orchis Spitzellii. Now, this was a really fantastic form. And remember all those orchids we saw lower down? Dactylorhiza sambucene, Orchis purpurea, the burnt orchid, the gymnadenia. We didn't see any of those up here, and we didn't see this orchid down there. And this really emphasises for me the point in doing a hike in the mountains. You've got to do a walk because you're going to find things that you wouldn't find anywhere else. Absolutely essential. Now, this plant I really, really love, and I thought this was a particularly good example. For this genus, Orchis, it has a really large flower, and this one was much bigger than the Greek one. And I love that creamy bit on top, and there's lovely dark flower stems and that rich magenta purple that goes with it. Lovely plant. Also, got a bit higher up, more nice views, weather cleared a little bit. This dryas there, yellow flowered. I think it's just Dryas octopella. That's the only one that occurs in Europe, I believe, but a yellow flowered form. Good reason to go to the old Gran Sasso. Anyway, me and Tim had a good old walk, and we needed a bit of a chat.
It's quite a drop, isn't it?
It's a long way down, mate. I don't want to go down there looking at plants.
I was just going to say, you're going to go first and show me the way.
Well, if I had rope, I would do it. It'd be a bit tricky coming back up, though, I think. So what do you reckon? Worth an afternoon stroll up a ridge?
Well, it's been a lovely day. We've seen some good stuff up here.
Some cracking stuff, haven't you? You love your orchids, and there was quite a number there.
Those gentian, though, are just magnificent.
And that one albino gentian. First time I've seen an albino gentian.
Really?
I've seen a few in cultivation, but mists are rising slightly here off the Adriatic.
They are, aren't they?
Cooling us down, though.
It's very welcome after a hard day's slog. What's that purple thing over there, then?
I'm not going there, not going to look.
Looks interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You've got better eyes than me. Yeah, not worth the risk. I mean, I could hold your feet.
Just have a quick look over the top of the brow of that.
Yeah, go on then. Go have a crawl over the brow, mate.
Well, that search didn't really come to anything. Tim had gone back up to his lookout post, and the mist was rising, the weather was starting to come in a little bit. And then we found this little plaque that had an inscription on it. In the silence of a peak, your breath rises and merges with the soul of the universe. And my soul and Tim's must have merged very quickly, because after hours and hours of searching fruitlessly, something very exciting then happened.
Scouring the rock faces for hours.
We kept going and going and going, didn't we? Like two little robots with a Duracell battery, didn't we?
That corner. This is where we should be looking for it. Then we kind of gave up, so it's time to go home.
And rather than taking the path, we've taken this little bit of what I've been talking about all day, which is like stable scree.
Yeah.
And what have we wandered into but a lovely little patch of...
I've forgotten the name. Leontopodium.
Orcs. We'll sort this bit out in a second.
But whatever it is, we found it. It's an absolute beauty.
Just one little patch. You could drop a tent over it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we nearly tread on it.
Exactly.
Miraculous.
Okay, here's the official Insta vid.
Here I am, overjoyed, on a ridge of very misty ridge that's just started to rain in the Gran Sasso in the Abruzzo mountains, and I found a plant I came here especially to see. I was at Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. We had some edelweiss on the stand. There was a couple of Italians there. I said I was going to the Abruzzo, and they said, go up to this ridge and look for this plant. Me and Tim have been looking for it all day. We've not been able to find it. We're searching rocks everywhere, and we've just given up and we're about to go home, and we've literally stumbled across it. We've basically walked upon it. Now, Tim has seen my videos before, and he said, don't kiss it, just stroke it. Well, I'm sorry, Tim, but that's not the way I roll.
I told you not to kiss it.
What a beauty. Ecstatic.
Look at this little beauty. How can people not like this? Some people are very rude about it. Tim and I were mesmerised. How can you not love that? Okay, let's sort out the name of this plant, because I'm sure the Italians told me something about subspecies Apenninicum, but I can't find it anywhere on the internet. Not as easy to find anything on the internet anymore, because with AI, it butts in and spreads lies, and I must find a way to turn it off. It's very annoying. Anyway, I referred to my vascular flora PDF, and that gave me Nivale, subspecies Nivale. Now let's have a look at the Gray Wilson book. As you can see, it's a bit ambiguous in there as well. Used to be Leontopodium alpinum, then Nivale is a name sometimes applied. Okay, they've fixed all this now, so it's now Leontopodium nivale, subspecies alpinum, and subspecies nivale. So what we're looking at here is Leontopodium nivale, subspecies nivale. And as you can see in the Gray Wilson book, Central Apennines Abruzzi, so we're in the right place. So there we go, that's what it is. And what a stunner. Well worth a kiss.
Well, Tim, thanks very much for showing me around, somewhere where to go.
Introduction. We botanised on the roadside most of the morning, and this was just like you said, what do you want to do this afternoon? And you spotted this little track, didn't you?
I thought it looks like a nice place to go, and I said I'd have that tip off about the old edelweiss up there.
That's right. I'm ready for my dinner, mate.
Yeah, I'm ready for a beer.
Dinner, a nice bottle of beer.
That's right.
Hey,
Well,
cheers,
Tim,
pal. I might
thanks
still
very
be here
much.
tomorrow.
I was going to say, if you're still here, I'll come and give you a
we'll
knock
see.
in the morning.
Yeah. All right, yeah, if you're up early.
The first day, you know, getting going.
I know, well, you had a desperate journey from Rome, didn't you?
Horrific.
Yeah, okay, mate. Lovely.
Right, thanks very
Enjoy
much,
your dinner. I certainly will.
Enjoy yours as well.
Thank you.
Another beautiful morning in central Italy. I headed back up to the Campo Imperatore to do the walk that Tim had told me about, up to Monte Aquilla.
Morning, Tim. You're still here?
Well, it's just such a beautiful place, quiet. Stayed the night.
How can you leave here?
Exactly.
I asked Tim where we were going.
Across the face of that one, up and over the shoulder, meets the big one behind the motorhome here.
Now, I know this is the same bit of footage that I used the day before, but it was the only bit I had. And it is quite a good bit of start walk footage, isn't it? First up was this lovely little poppy, this little papiva. Not in the Vascular Flora PDF, and I don't think it's native to these hills. There's a little botanic garden up here which was closed, and these were all growing around it. So I think they were escapees. A lovely little thing, though, and looking very happy on the Gran Sasso. The androssaceae that Tim was telling us about, really quite magnificent. Growing in, again, what Tim was talking about, this nice stabilised scree. Lovely little woolly thing. Some plants absolutely smothered in flowers. Gorgeous. Loads of Pulsatilla alpina up here. We were here early enough to see it all flowering away. Beautiful blue reverses on the back of some of the petals there. Also here, Anemone narcissiflora, looking just like a pheasant eye narcissus there. So you can really see where it gets its name. Lovely walk. I mean, look at those views there. This one blowing away in the wind. Spotted from below, this very, very green Primula auricula. It's not farreri at all, although I have heard reports of farreri plants in the area, so I think this is just a form that also occurs in this region. More Saxifraga callosa up here, and interesting, we're a bit higher. Can you see these ones? The inflorescence only just starting. Down where we were the previous day, fully in flower. So also up here, porophylla, again, only just starting to flower. Also, let's get the book out, let's see what the Gray Wilson book says about this plant. Only 2 species recorded in the sort of Western Europe area where the book covers. And of course, Tim gave us that great description yesterday of how to tell apart porophylla and sempervivum in cultivation. But whilst out in the field, without prior knowledge, and I've said this before, probably in this video, I can't remember, but it's one of the simplest things to do when you're trying to identify 2 different species. First of all, check the locality. One grows in the Pyrenees, one grows in the Apennines. So it's pretty obvious, because they're quite similar looking saxes, actually. Lovely little thing, isn't it? I particularly like this plant.
because it was in perfect condition, and I caught that shadow as well. I really like that. But I know you all want to see the flower, so let's have a close-up. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Look at that one, gazing out across the Campo Imperatore there.
Ollie, that's the across the face of that mountain there. That's the gnarliest bit out of the way.
Good.
Now, it's just a nice gentle raise before you get around the corner. A bit gnarly again, and then a nice gentle walk up onto the ridge of L'Aquilla. So let's go. What? You fell over. Yeah, bless you.
Oh, what a wonderful, beautiful, magical area. Next plant. Didn't see it the day before, which again illustrates the importance of doing a hike, gaining altitude. You see different things. Same mountain range, different things. Knew it was Boraginaceae, didn't know what the plant was. Looked in the book, and it doesn't really look like number 4, but it's the closest out of all of them. You read it and you see Cineglossum magellense, and you notice that the region is central southern Apennines. So there we go, that's our plant. A few things around here called magellense, so you presume that specific epithet means from this region. We heard Tim yesterday talking about a place nearby called Mayella, or Magella, which of course if you were Spanish, you'd pronounce with like an H sound, so go back to Mayella. But if you keep the J in there, Magella, that's where we get Magellense from. It really fascinates me, this part of languages, how it evolves depending on who's speaking it. Chi is a good example. Who, in Italian and French, sounds the same. The Italians spell it CHI, the French spell it QUI. So the word sounds exactly the same, but depending on who's writing it down and who reads it, it changes the sound. Maybe at some point this part of Italy was under Spanish rule or something, so it became Maiella rather than Magella. Fascinating stuff. But this plant really was an absolute crack. I mean, look at those beautiful dark leaves and those grey, pale hairs and those lovely maroonish, reddish flowers against that blue sky. This was really, really a nice photo. Cracking plant. Anyway, what's Tim saying? A nice gentle ascent. It's a bit of a slog. Luckily, those beautiful views take your mind off it a bit. So you're mooching along, right, having a lovely walk in the mountains, and you think, oh, it's a boulder in the middle of the path. But no.
This boulder here is actually a huge tuft of Silene acaulis. Now, we do have some flowers on it. Suddenly it's not flowering loads. It can be covered in flowers. See how these lovely little pink flowers? But look, I mean, I guess there's some soil underneath it, but it's completely and utterly overtaken this lump of soil. There's loads of stuff growing in it. We've got these little yellow potentillas here. Got a beautiful blue gentian, little violet there, and this little chap, which is actually an umbel. So it's related to carrots. Does it look like a tiny little cow parsley plant? I think so.
That weather's coming in again, look.
Is it? Oh. You're going to get wet again?
Hopefully not. Well, we're certainly communing with the gods up here, aren't we?
We are. Beautiful spot.
A little hidden gem.
We continued on our mission and got finally to the saddle that Tim had been talking about, with absolutely spectacular views. Did you see all those nice little yellow things we were walking amongst? Here's a little still to remind you. This is the wonderful Vitaliana. Absolutely everywhere, masses of it. Another nice thing, new to me, was this little Thalaspi. Got the book out, and once again, central southern Apennines. Lots of new flowers here to me because I'd never been to this area before. Seen loads of Thalaspi before, further north in the Alps, but not these southern species. So a nice little thing. Okay, let's try to identify a gentian. This time, Verna group, another difficult group of plants. Clearly not just straight Verna. Let's look at the flower, the leaves, that habit. It's clearly a high altitude gentian. This is something different. So we get the book out. Gentiana brachyphylla. So leaves look good. Rounded diamond shape, bluish green, leathery, mostly in the basal rosette. Yes. Flower solitary. Yeah, looks good. Acid rocks. We're on calcareous here. So we look at the subspecies Favratii, and what do we have on limestone? That looks good. Only problem, it's not giving us Apennines. Just says Alps. But another way to identify a flower, as well as, you know, all these diagnostics and the region they occur in, you can just cheat and read a report that someone else has given. who's been here before. Bacon, listed subspecies Favratii, and the vascular flora of central Italy also lists Favratii. So I'm happy with that. Let's call it Gentiana brachyphylla subsp. Favratii. Absolute beauty. Walked all the way up there from the observatory, just there. We're along that path, that ridge. We come up here, especially to see this little thing. Now this for me really is a true Alpine. It's this little buttercup. We've had to walk ages to get up here to see it. I mean, I guess we must be about 2,000 metres and look at it. It's just absolutely beautiful. What do they say? If you put one under your chin and you smile, then you like butter. I do like butter. Let's just take a minute to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful little high altitude buttercup. Is that long enough? Heavenly, isn't she? And I must apologise, because as lovely as she is, I don't think I actually got a photo that really did this little plant any justice, so you'll just have to come up here and see it for yourself. Now, one wonderful thing about the world of botany is it's full of contradictions, and I'm about to contradict myself completely, because I just said that one of the best ways to identify a plant is to read a trip report that someone else has done. Well, Bacon lists Ranunculus hybridus up here, so let's pull up the Grey Wilson book. There we go. Hybrid buttercup. We've got hybridus there, similar to 3. 3 is Ranunculus thora, which we saw earlier, and we have the description here to allow us to distinguish this from thora. 2 large lower leaves, short-beaked achenes, and we can see this is an important distinguishing feature because in Brevifolius, it's in italics, it says long-beaked achenes. Now the achenes are the seed, so we can't see that at the moment, but res de chasse. Let's once again look at the distribution. Hybridus, eastern, southeastern Alps, Brevifolius, central Apennines. Obviously, we've got our plant. And also, if we need a bit of further confirmation, let's pull up this picture again and check the lower leaves. Clearly, we've got several large lower leaves here, not just 2. So, very happy with this as Brevifolius. And I'm terribly sorry, Bacon, but you got it wrong. They're a bit tedious, aren't they? These silly bits of video footage you have to take for Instagram. Anyway, what's not tedious is Tim and I's conversation. I will get it right, not me and Tim. Tim and I's. It's not Tim and I's, is it either? Tim and I's. The conversation of Tim and I about Yankia haldreikii.
Temperamental.
Not an easy thing, I found. He said grow it with sphagnum moss around it.
Right. I've got the Yankee Monda.
Oh yeah. Any good?
Well, it comes and goes to about 2 inches across. I'm not quite sure what you should do in summer, whether you should dry it out or just keep it growing. But I knocked a few side rosettes off and managed to root them. Well, one of them I rooted, and it's in a big piece of tufa on its own, and it's doing all right, so we'll see.
And which side does it go? Does it go more towards the Rwanda side or the Yankee side?
Yeah, I suspect towards the Ramonda side, really.
Yeah.
It's not quite as velvety, like that Leontopodium yesterday, with its little strokeable rabbit's ears,
Yeah.
Whereas Yankee is that little bit more feminine and graceful.
Certainly.
It had a single flower on it. Not that I think it's not going to get seed. I just keep hoping I'll get a bit of seed.
And of course they've changed that, haven't they, now to Ramonda.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to go and see it, about a week.
Ah.
I'm going to Olympus especially to see it. I'll report back.
Apparently it's a hell of a walk.
I've heard.
A very hot walk as well.
I tried to stay in the hostel that's halfway.
Yeah.
And it's full.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I do fancy the former Yugoslavia, the Balkans, some of the more obscure ones, Bulgaria. Is it the Pirin and the Rhodope?
Oh yeah.
kind of Greece or Bulgaria, that. Because Saxifraga grows there.
Which one's that?
Stribrnyi.
Oh right, yeah.
It was a strange old day. On the Adriatic side, you can't see past the end of your nose.
Yeah.
And on the Mediterranean side here, you can see probably for 10 kilometres.
Isn't it? Well, that little ranunculus was absolutely delightful.
It was a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In 2 days, it's developed so much more.
Mm.
It was just a single row of petals with none of the tepals the other day.
Really?
Mm.
It's a beautiful little thing.
Mm. Yeah, worth the slog up. Mind, it wasn't really a slog, just 2 or 3 places, weren't there? Because we were botanising rather a lot, weren't we?
Not too bad a slog.
No.
Okay, another quick botany lesson. We talked about Saxifraga species crossing, and sometimes even 2 species from a different section crossing. Here, we're talking about 2 separate genera from the same family crossing, although, as I said, they've now moved Yankia into the Ramonda genus. So apparently it's no longer Yankia haldreikii, it's now Ramonda haldreikii. Anyway, here's a little picture of Aquilla, just to prove that we got there, and then it was time to go back down. But of course, on the way, we saw lots of lovely things.
Right, Tim, especially for the AGS, can you tell us all about this little, or should I say big, beauty?
This big beauty is the Gran Sasso form of Saxifraga oppositifolia. I mean, it grows circumpolar right around the world. So I've seen it on various continents before, but this is a particularly fine form. The vegetative state isn't great, but the flowers are fabulous, huge flowers. Good find, really.
I'm mesmerised, but I've never seen flowers that big on a Saxifraga before.
Okay, well, we're looking at saxes. All you saxoholics are going to love this stuff. Saxifraga oppositifolia used to, I believe, have its own little separate section because it couldn't be matched with any others. Now they have put it into porphyrion. So there we go, in the same section as our Gloria saxes, in the same section as our Cabsia saxes, but this one a separate subsection, so oppositifolia. Other nice little saxes in this section include Retusa and Biflora. I think they're the only 3 species in this section anyway, so that's the 3 species. And I should also illustrate this extra point that we're making here. Obviously, we have all these categories for naming the Saxifraga, but some regions can have their own form due to seedling variations, climatic conditions, that sort of thing. So this particular Saxifraga oppositifolia with these big flowers, which is particular to the Gran Sasso region, would be different to the Saxifraga oppositifolia that we might see growing in Switzerland or the French Alps. So here are some Swiss Saxifraga oppositifolias, all different because of the seedling variation, but none as big flowered as our big beauty here in the Gran Sasso, which is why we got so excited.
We've been finding little tiny patches of Sempervivum arachnoideum all day, little bits yesterday as well. I just happened to, whilst you were down doing what you do, I just happened to just wander up to the top of this little knoll, and right on the top it's covered in a beautiful Sempervivum arachnoideum.
Yeah, more Sax porophylla up here, more Pulsatilla alpina, and these ones were just absolutely stunning on that scree with those views behind them, and that beautiful blue sky, wonderful. Another gentian look, and you know what? It's definitely different to the one we saw earlier, isn't it? The old PDF suggests orbicularis as well. I'm not sure. It's not in the Gray Wilson book. Discuss amongst yourselves. Answers on a postcard. Do you want to see more views? Of course you do.
What a fantastic spot.
It is.
Heaven.
Oh, beautiful. That big peak you can see there is the Corno Grande, which is the highest peak in the Apennine range. And also the little plant there you can see in the foreground, slightly out of focus, but here's a better picture, is a little Ibis saxatilis, another nice little crucifer that grows up here. We also saw a really nice pink form. Now, up here again, with these gentian, and I think this is probably the best photograph of a gentian I've ever taken. They were absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that. Isn't that perfect? With the background and that lovely limestone rock. Don't ask me to name the species. I'm actually going to stop talking
so you can properly enjoy it without me prattling away in the background. The wolves that live here, I've got to eat something.
As long as it's not us.
And this little chap is probably what they're eating. That is a Gran Sasso chamois.
Down we wandered, and this shot here really perfectly illustrates these Adriatic mists that Tim keeps talking about, coming in from the side there. This beautiful little mountain forget-me-not up here, Myosotis grauai, I guess you might pronounce it. Another one from the old PDF, nice thing that. And look at this, where the snow had just gone. Beautiful Crocus vernus. Again, the importance of doing a hike. You find a snow patch, it's just melted, you get the really early things coming up. What a wonderful treat that was. Sadly though, it was the last treat, because as we descended, it was time for the inevitable.
Tim, thanks very much. Really, really appreciate you taking me around.
Well, thanks for, I don't know, what shall I say? Thanks for being here, mate. It's been a blast, yeah. The company's been great. We've done some beautiful walks, seen some fabulous plants, haven't we?
We have seen some lovely stuff. Like I say, it's nice to share it, and
Yeah,
such a rich, wonderful area.
Really diverse, isn't it?
Yeah, the views, the flowers, and those gentian, all the way.
Yeah, all the way.
Let's do it again sometime.
We'll do.
Right.
Maybe the Maritime, you never know.
Pourquoi pas?
And you need some suntan lotion on your face.
Oh.
Safe journey back.
Arrivederci.
Enjoy Rome. Arrivederci.
So there we go, a sad farewell to the beautiful mountains of central Italy, the Abruzzi Apennini. It was time, though, to head into the equally beautiful capital of Italy, Roma.
Well, cheers everyone. I just love Italy. Grazie.
Don't have too much cheese.
When in Rome, tiramisu. Oh, that's dense. Res du chasse, perfetto. Thanks for watching everyone. See you on the next one.